Spriggs, and thank you for joining me again as I make lavender soap. This is a very mild soap and it smells amazing, if I may add. So here we go. So now I'm adding my lye to my water. And when adding lye, you want to be as precise as possible according to your recipe. So now I'm going to go ahead and give this a nice stir. Make sure everything is incorporated. Make sure there's no chunks of lye left. And this heats up to about 200 degrees or just below. So it gets pretty hot. So I'm going to let it stay off to the side. And I'm going to continue by adding my oils to prepare my soap. I just now added my palm oil. Okay, now I'm adding my coconut oil to the mix. Gotta smush it down just a little bit here, make sure it fits in here. Okay, I must need a different size piece there. Okay. Now I'm adding my organic shea butter to the mix. I'm trying to smush it all in there so everything fits. Alright, a little bit more here in the corner. Just trying to fit it wherever I can. Alright, now I'm adding my olive oil pumice to the mix. Alright, I took the liberty of melting the oils off camera, and I am adding my sodium lactate to my lye water. Again, that's just to make the bar harder. It's derived from beets or corn, and I'm just checking the temperature of both so we don't have any accidents or mishaps. Safety first. So I'm going to add, well, in my lavender soap, it's a more of a white color soap. And part of the reason is because of the kaolin clay, which is a white clay. But I also put this in the soap just to add some more additional detoxing components, similar to my oatmeal clay soap, which has bentonite clay. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-mix this before I add my lye water, just to make sure it's well incorporated. I think that's good. Okay. All right, now I'm adding my lime water to the mix. Make sure it's all incorporated. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and mix this together carefully, mind you. All righty. I have to be very careful because I have it all the way to the top of the brim there. Now I'm adding my lavender essential oil to the soap base here. And I will say the room smells amazing right now. Funny thing is, when I originally started making lavender soaps, I could not stand the smell of lavender. I just did not like it. I didn't like the synthetic. I did not like the essential oil. But over time, it grew on me. So now it's one of my favorites as well. Okay. Now I'm going to just scrape down all the excess soap here. Make sure we get everything in the pot. Now you'll notice my soap here looks a little bit thinner than maybe some of my others, and that's just a matter of preference. It's like a thin batter, like a cake batter or a pancake batter. I prefer that for this particular soap when I'm making it. I like my lavender in particular to be a very clean, straight to the point soap, not a whole lot of ripples and such on top. I just like that very flat top. So off screen, I went ahead and tapped it down to get any bubbles to raise to the top as best I could. And now I'm going to add my dry lavender buds to the top. I don't do as many as I used to because some of my customers complain about all the buds in their tub. So I went ahead, I pulled back. I pulled back on how many I put on there. But after about the first or second wash, all of them should fall off the top of the soap. And I stopped putting it in the middle of the soap because it actually looked like mouse turds. And that was not a pleasant sight. So here you go. Now it will sit for the next 2 days or so and harden up. And we're back after about 2 days, and it has hardened nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and take it out of my soap mold and prepare it to be cut. Once I pull apart the sides really nice, um, it should pop out pretty easily. And there it goes. So I'm going to go ahead and use my soap cutter that will cut multiple bars all at once. And I will say I did make a mistake here. This is an amateur mistake. If you can see those lines running down my soap, right where I cut it, see where I'm dragging my finger? Um, the problem is if you have like any herbs or anything on top of your soap, it's best to actually cut it from the side. But it's still beautiful and it still smells amazing.